Howdly doodly. Man, it is colder than a witch's tit outside. I'll edit out that later. um, got a ring of ice around the clouds from the near full moon. You see that as upper stratospheric ice. Get a rainbow effect from the moon's illumination. This is the secondary trinity of Nikon. Now, I already got the primary trinity, including some of the peripherals, like the 70 to 200 2.8. Yeah, we all know that. The 14 to 24 Nikkor, I've got that too. However, that's been superseded by the Tamron 15 to 30 with VR, no less. A much better lens for less money. Yep, and the 14 to 24. G series, not the new VRG, which is larger, heavier, more expensive, more elements, worse image. That's where Nikon actually went backwards. Thankfully, Nikon went forwards with the 70 to 200. What is the secondary trinity? In price, I don't know, you could say the poor man's trinity. This isn't a poor man's trinity. I own these lenses. I own multiple copies of these lenses. I wouldn't call these a poor man's trinity. There is one stupid mistake everybody keeps making about the first, and then we're going to go over the trinity here. Now you're going like, well, that's a crop sensor camera you got there. Is this for a crop sensor or full frame? The answer is, who gives a damn? It doesn't make any difference. Well, sure it does. You stick that lens on a crop sensor camera, then you end up with a 1.5 crop factor. Yeah, you're right, but you know what? There's no such thing as a crop lens. There's only such thing as a crop sensor. Every lens drops the same light regardless of the size of the sensor. I know the field of view changes. The answer here is it makes no difference. Yeah, I know the field of view is different. They'll say, yeah, well, sure it makes a difference. The field of view is different. Yeah, I know all that. I got plenty of full-frame cameras and crop sensor cameras. There's only one person out there that says you shouldn't stick full-frame lenses on crop sensor cameras. Only one person. And that information is bullshit. Excuse me, I had a little cough there. The 80 to 200 Nikkor. The first of those, the 2.8, and there's an older version you can get a push-pull. They still make this lens. You know why they still make this lens? Because this lens has a lot of prime characteristics. Now, it's slow autofocus. It's a screw drive. This lens has been around for a long time. Nikon still makes it for a reason, because the images from it are wonderful. Really bad focus breathing if you plan on using this close. Nikon warned you. Even though it will technically focus that damn close, this is not a close-in lens. Everybody, I've had hundreds of people complain about it. So, I love this lens when I take a picture. I see, how close are you focusing? Oh, 10, 15. It's like, that's the problem. Why? Focus it. Yeah, that's the problem. Anyway, so there's the first of the secondary trinity. I've talked about this lens endlessly. I don't know if I have to talk about it much more. I've got 3 or 4 of these lenses. I recommend everybody. I have this lens right now filming my ugly face on a crop sensor camera on a D7100. Right now, there's another copy of this lens filming my ugly face on the D7100. Yes, a full-frame lens and a crop body. This is the 24 to 85 VRG. Now, there are different versions of this lens. This is the latest version. You can find these damn cheap used. This was the kit lens for the Nikon D610. This is Nikon's best, sharpest mid-range zoom lens, and it is stinking cheap. It's stinking awesome. It's a really good lens. $200 all day long, usually on eBay. So I would call this the second lens of the secondary trinity of Nikon lenses. Now, we have to go for the mid-range zoom lens here. That's a toss-up, but it's not a toss-up to me. I own more than one copy of both. The 16 to 35 fixed aperture f4 Nikkor, so the 16 to 35 G series. Look at that big N. People are like, wow, that's amazing. That means it's got a magical coating. Yeah, that's bullshit. I know it has a nanoparticle coating. If it had a standard AR coating and you were to compare the two, you would never know the difference. Anyway, this is not a cheap lens. However, it's been on sale a lot recently. This is one of Nikon's worst sellers. It is a wee bit too damn fuzzy between 16 and 20 at f4. It is pretty damn expensive. and it's pretty damn heavy. Nikon does not sell... What is this film I got on here? Oh, this film from the case I had it in. Nikon does not sell too many of these lenses. That's why they're always sticking them on sale. The lens is decent enough, but it is not great. This is technically what I would consider the third lens of Nikon's Trinity, but a better choice by far. And I have it, yes, on the crop sensor camera. All of these are full frame lenses, by the way, which you could use perfectly fine on any crop sensor camera. Is this the super awesome... Look, I don't even have a filter on it. The super awesome 18 to 35, the 35 to 45 G series. Okay, only this lens. There are different versions of the 18 to 35 lens. Only the most recent one, the G version. I think the current price on this is like $750 new. This lens is like a sleeper lens. What I mean by sleeper, I hear none of you ever talking about this damn lens. This lens is the tits. Not only that, this is the absolute perfect travel lens. And you're going for full frame or DX? And I go, yes, both. In crop mode, this is like a 28 millimeter to 50 millimeter. 28 to 50. What does that remind me of? Well, it kind of reminds me of this lens pretty much in full frame, field of view. So 28 millimeters to 50 millimeters. This lens is insanely lightweight. It is remarkable. When you pick it up, if you go to a camera store and pick it up, you go, oh my god, that lens is so lightweight. So if you just have a D500 and you want the perfect perfect travel lens, you're like, I'm going to be hiking the Alps, I want a nice, wide, I want a really sharp lens. Obviously it's a zoom. Actually this lens, the rendering on this lens is absolutely excellent. Considering the fact that you can find it used typically for about $450 to $5.25, this lens is awesome. This is actually one of my favorite lenses, and if you're one of those snobs that like counts every ounce, isn't it funny if you're like a fat person like me were to complain about weight? It's like, you know, I gotta drop all that weight off my gear. It's like, yeah, you gotta drop 100 pounds off of your waist. It's like, yeah, that'd be easier. It's like, if you drop 100 pounds off your waist, does that mean I can pack 50 pounds more of gear? Maybe, maybe not. Anyway, so that's it. This is my choice, definitely, over the 16 to 35 f4. It's like, well, this lens is a 35 to 45. So damn what. This lens is sharper. It is insanely lightweight. It's almost half the weight of the 16 to 35. It is really, really, really lightweight. Now, it has to be only the G version. No, it does not have VR. You don't need VR. Don't need VR. The only lens here that has the VR is the 24 to 85. Excuse me, the 16 to 35 does. I forgot I wasn't going to even include that lens. I wasn't even going to include it to the last minute, but I thought, well, if I do this Trinity set of lenses, if I don't include the 16 to 35 f4, someone's going to go, what about the 16 to 35 f4? So I included it, but I've flatly rejected it because it's too fuzzy, it's too heavy, it's too expensive. It often goes on sale, but even the sale price is too much. It is a perfectly fine lens, but Nikon always puts it on sale for a reason. They basically don't sell any. Nikon doesn't really sell many of these either, ultimately, and they should. This lens is awesome. If people realized how lightweight this lens is and how insanely sharp it is and how great the rendering is, people would buy the piss-a-not out of this lens. Perfect for FX or DX use, and perfect for travel because this lens, I've already said that 5 times, right? I'm going to say it a 6th time. This lens doesn't weigh anything. So that's my pick for the secondary trinity of Nikkor lenses. The primary trinity would be the new 70 to 208, $2,800. Just bought that. Cha-ching! The Tamron 15 to 30, not too expensive. That was $1,300. Cha-ching! People think I'm crazy. And last but not least, I don't recommend the VRG version on the 24-70. The new version, the new improved version is actually crappier. The older version, and by older I mean still just as good, actually better, not just as good, it's actually better, and sharper, and lighter weight, and fewer elements. The 24 to 70 2.8 G series Nikkor, which you can find like for $1,100. So, but that's a lot of money. Those lenses are, if you totaled them up, new, 3, 4, 5, like $6,800. I have all those lenses. If you totaled these up, used 600, 200, so that's $800 plus 500 used, like $1,300. 1,400 bucks versus 8,000. So this secondary trinity was just as good, basically. 1,400 bucks versus 8,000 bucks. So this is almost 1/8 as much money, and it will make you just as happy. It will tickle your pickle 98% as much as the other set that I also have, which will run you $6,700 more in cash. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. I've had too much caffeine today. Too much. Mental note, stop drinking so much coffee before making videos. Okay. Alright, thank you for watching. If you like this video, drop me a dime or two, or you can tell me to jump off a cliff, whatever makes you happy, whatever tickles your pickle. Thank you for watching. Happy holidays and all that crap. Goodbye.